Howdy y'all and welcome. Hope everybody's doing great out there today. As you can see, we got a lot of weather to talk about. We have some springtime winter storms going on up here in the north central part and northeastern part of the country. And we got some severe weather down here in Florida as well. So let's go ahead and get into the winter weather aspect first, since that's what y'all came here for. You can see up here in the northeast, we got some winter storm warnings and advisories. Most of these go out through Sunday morning. And we got some winter storm watches and warnings over here in the north central part of the country as well. Most of these go out through Sunday and most of these go out through Tuesday. Of course, this winter storm watch is going to be turned into a winter storm warning or advisory or even a blizzard warning. Most areas can see some blizzard-like conditions. And if y'all followed my X and Facebook pages, y'all saw that I've been posting about this winter storm for quite a while now. And I even issued a bread and milk warning. So hope y'all went out there and grabbed your bread and milk before it got all wiped out. But first, let's go ahead and take a look up here in the northeast as this winter storm warning goes out through Sunday morning. As you can see right now, it's currently snowing real hard up here in New York and Maine. Could be dealing with some icing down here in south central New York into Massachusetts. But let's go ahead and take a look at the NAM 3-kilometer model. We take a look at how intense the snow and ice will get through Sunday. As you can see right now, dealing with heavy snow, of course, and icing down here. As you can see, as we get into the afternoon hours, the icing is going to get more intense over here in south central New Hampshire and over here by Vermont. This is going to be going all the way through tonight before it starts winding down through tomorrow morning. And then y'all are going to be in the clear for quite a while. Now, let's go ahead and get into the icing first. Freezing rain accretion. As y'all can see, we're dealing with right around a 1/4 of an inch to right around a 1/2 inch for some areas. And this is going to cause some major problems, potential power outages as well, so please be aware of that. Now, as far as the snow goes, according to the National Weather Service blend models, we can see that we're going to be dealing with right around a foot of snow from Vermont up into Maine. Northern Maine's going to be getting slammed right around 20 inches up there. Now, of course, the further west and south you go, the less snow you're going to be getting in on, right around 5 to 10, I would expect, from New York down here into southern Vermont and southern New Hampshire. So definitely use your common sense if you're heading out on the roads, turn those headlights on, be careful if you're heading out, don't head up if you don't have to. So now that we know how much snow and ice we've been getting out up here in the northeast, let's go ahead and get into the north central half of the country, as I've been obsessing over that this past week. Now currently, as we look at the current radar, we can see that down by Nebraska, dealing with some icing down there. And we got some snow going on from Montana down into Minnesota. So let's go ahead and take a look at how intense the snow is going to be for the next few days. Of course, we're going to look at the NAM 3-kilometer again. Keep in mind that date time, if I mentioned this earlier, it's up here if you ever want to keep track, by the way. Now, of course, most of these winter storm warnings and watches go out through Sunday into Tuesday, so keep that in mind. If I pull up the wording from one of these, we can see that we're going to be dealing with potential blizzard-like conditions. Upwards of 50-mile-an-hour winds possible, of course, 4 to 8 inches. We'll get into the snowfall totals here in a little bit. As we can see, the intense snow is going to be getting set up through tonight over here by Montana. The most intense snow band is going to be setting up. And then the coverage area is going to get more widespread through tonight and dealing with some icing down here in central Nebraska, so please be aware of this. We're dealing with really slick road conditions and some potential power outages as well down there. Ice is definitely something you don't want to mess with. You can see it's going to last all the way into Monday. Start to wind down Monday evening. So definitely, like I said earlier, watch out for slick road conditions and don't head out if you don't have to. Now let's take a look at the snow totals. Now that our confidence has increased, now this takes us out into Tuesday, of course. We can see the jackpot of snow is going to be centered over eastern South Dakota, southeastern North Dakota, and Minnesota. Y'all will be getting in on right around a foot to 2. Further west you go a little bit less, of course, right around 5 to 10. Locally higher amounts is going to be possible. Of course, Nebraska, you're going to be dealing with some icing. So we take a look at that. As we can see down here in Nebraska, it could be dealing with less than 1/10 of an inch of ice, but still any sort of ice is dangerous to deal with, especially if you put high winds on top of that. Recipe for disaster. So definitely prepare for dangerous travel conditions for the next few days, as snow and ice is going to be possible up here in the north central part of the country and northeast. As we take a look at the wind gusts, we can say we could be coming in on some blizzard-like conditions up here. I wouldn't be surprised if a blizzard warning gets issued. You can see tomorrow could be coming in on right around 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. High winds on top of heavy snow, on top of icing down here in Nebraska. The recipe for disaster, so definitely prepare for this, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into the severe weather side of things, since we already covered the winter weather. Hope y'all remain careful out there in the winter storm areas. As you can see down here in southern Florida, down here in the Southern Keys, we already got a tornado warning actually issued down here in the Southern Keys until noon. Looks like it's just a radar indicated tornado, so definitely nothing to worry about there. Seek shelter if you're down there, by the way. That is a chance today. It's a small chance, but chance nonetheless. Strong tornadoes can't happen on low wind days. High winds is another threat. It's a 5% chance. So it's looking like damaging winds and tornadoes isn't just the main threats today. But then as we move off into tomorrow and Sunday, we can see that we got a slight risk for severe weather amongst the central half of the country. We got some winter weather on the backside, severe weather on the front side. All hazards are going to be positive tomorrow with a 5% chance for tornadoes over here by central Kansas into north central Oklahoma with a 2% surrounding that. As far as damaging wind threat goes, 5% chance within this whole area here from southern Nebraska into Texas. Large hail threat, pretty big threat, 15% chance over Kansas and Oklahoma. Of course, we got a 5% chance surrounding that all the way down into Texas. And then as we move off into Manic Monday, see we got a slight risk for severe weather over here by Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Margin risk surrounding that, of course. Now we do not know what the main hazards are going to be just yet, so make sure you follow my X and Facebook pages, as I will have updates on there. So let's going to take a look at the timing of when you could expect the worst severe weather here for the next 3 days. Take a look at this. We're going to have to take a look at the HRRR model. Now we already know we got that tornado warning going on as of recording this video. We've got some clusters of storms down here as of 11 o'clock this morning. And this is going to last all the way through right around 4 o'clock into 5 o'clock before finally getting out. And of course, high winds is going to be the primary threats today. You can see we could be dealing with upwards of 40 to 50 mile an hour wind gusts down here. Some areas could also see 20 mile an hour wind gusts. Definitely could be causing some major problems down there. Potential power outages. Make sure you put anything up blowing around from damaging winds. And make sure you're hyper weather aware, as tornadoes is definitely a possibility today. It's a low wind threat, but still a possibility. So now let's go ahead and move off into Sunday's severe weather threats. We'll be going on up here from Kansas down into Oklahoma with a marginal risk which extends down into Texas. Keep in mind all hazards are going to be possible, with the main threats being tornadoes and large hail. So push this forward, we can see that it's going to be a late evening into overnight event. You can see we have some clusters of storms by right around 6 o'clock. These could turn tornadic. Could be dealing with some large hail with these as well through 8 o'clock, getting out by right around midnight. Let's take a look at the tornadic parameters. This puts all the ingredients for tornadoes into one run and spits out a total of most confidence of where a tornado could possibly happen at. That don't mean a tornado is going to happen within that zone. It just means that conditions are favorable. Push back to right around 8 o'clock. You see this is where those clusters were. Right around a 0.2, almost a 1 out of 10. It's definitely a possibility. So make sure you are hyper weather aware tomorrow over here in Kansas down into Oklahoma. I wouldn't be surprised if they upgrade this into an enhanced risk zone. But again, regardless of what risk you are under, just make sure you're hyper weather aware, as tornadoes can happen on low wind days. Now to take a look at the threats for the severe weather event down here in Louisiana, Arkansas, and Texas, we're going to have to take a look at the weather bell models. Now keep in mind that we do not know what the main hazards are going to be just yet for Monday, so make sure you are following my social media pages that I mentioned earlier on X and Facebook. I'll have links in the description down below. Now, looking at the NAM 3 kilometer here on Weather Bell, we can see here on Monday morning, could be dealing with some convection out there. Could be dealing with a line of showers and thunderstorms by right around 4 o'clock. It's going to last all the way through right around 8 o'clock. Of course, this is as far as this model will go. So we take a look at the surface cape. Basically, thunderstorm fuel. Could be dealing with a lot of energy out there. As far as tornadic parameters go, pretty high. I mean, definitely relatively high out there. Now, take a look at the Euro model for our lightning flash density rate. We can see when the most intense storms are going to fire up. As you can see, right around noon to right around 4 o'clock through right around 8 o'clock is when I would expect the worst severe weather here on Monday. So definitely, again, for the next 3 days, make sure you are hyper weather aware. Make sure you have a way to get alerted and know where to go when that tornado warning goes off. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the weather could have in store further into the week, now that we know we got some winter weather going on up north and we got some severe weather going on for the next 3 days. You see, we could be coming in on some flooding as well today out here in the east coast part of the country. As we push past Monday, we can see that we got winter storms, severe weather going on, bringing some high winds. through Tuesday. And then it's going to be getting out of here. It's going to be drying out a little bit amongst the central half of the country, dealing with some heavy snow out west and heavy rainfall. Heavy rainfall over here by the Carolinas. Could be coming in on some major flooding. And then our next system is going to be getting organized by April Fool's Day. This is no April Fool's joke. You can see from Colorado up into Minnesota, dealing with some snow again. Springtime snow seems to be a common occurrence this time of year. Heavy rainfall over here by Indiana, Kentucky, and this part of the area here by April 1st. And this is as far as the Euro model will go, actually. Now, looking at the precipitation outlook for the next 6 to 10 days, we can see much of the country is going to be coming in on well above average precipitation, which is pretty normal for this time of year, actually, because it's springtime. We're supposed to get above average precipitation this time of year. April showers bring May flowers, which it's not April yet, but y'all get the point. See down here in southern Texas, it's going to be dealing with some below average precipitation. Next 8 to 14 days, this takes us out to April 5th. Really, much of the same story is going on. And of course, I'll be taking a look at the solar eclipse forecast here in a little bit for y'all. And let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures we could be dealing with. As y'all can see today, we're going to be dealing with some relatively nice temperatures out there. That's why we got some severe weather going on down here in southern Florida. It's going to be cooling down drastically tonight. Tomorrow evening, much of the same story. Then that cold front's going to be moving eastward by Monday afternoon, bringing that severe weather to Arkansas, Texas, and Louisiana. Then it's going to cool down drastically due to that big snowpack that's on the ground up here in the Dakotas. Could be dealing with some negative temperatures up there. We'll remain cold up until the end of the month, where it's looking like we could be warming up again. And we're going to be warming up in a drastic way by March 30th. Look at this, guys. Almost 70-degree temperatures as far north as Iowa. Definitely could come in on some snow melt up there. 90s down here in southern Texas. So it's looking like we're going to be heading more into this spring-like weather pattern. Where in the last video I said that we were going to be coming into this winter-like weather pattern as we're heading into spring. But now it's looking like we're going to come out of that winter-like weather pattern into more of a spring-like pattern as we head into April. Now, how much of above average or below average is this going to be? As we can see, we're going to be a little bit below average for quite some time up until Monday. And then we're going to come into some really below average temperatures up here in the north central part of the country due to that major snowpack, of course. Northeast is going to be dealing with some above average temperatures. But then as we head into the end of the month, we're going to come into well above average temperatures over here in the eastern part of the country and well below average temperatures out west. Now, according to the Climate Prediction Center, we can see that they're in agreement with this as well. It's looking like much of the country is going to be near normal to below average, while the northeast and down here by Florida and down here by Texas is going to be above average, as well as Alaska as well, and Hawaii. In the next 8 to 14 days, looks just about the same. Could be coming in on some warmer temperatures as we are heading into April, so that's good. But winter doesn't want to let go, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and take a look at the solar eclipse forecast. Now, this only takes us out to 2 o'clock in the morning on April 8th on a solar eclipse day. Let's go ahead and look back at the unreliable model again, which is the CFS model. As we can see here on the solar eclipse day, of course, this is 8 o'clock in the morning, 12Z. Then we can look at 8 o'clock at nighttime. It's looking like this area here is going to be pretty dry. So it's looking like some solar eclipse viewing is going to be pretty good. It's going to be in the clear. Now, of course, I will have an official forecast video out possibly next week and definitely on X and Facebook, so make sure you check those out as well. As far as temperatures go for that day, we can see it's going to be relatively cold that day, but of course, this is the CFS model. This will obviously change, so definitely something to look forward to, y'all. Pretty exciting times. So if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and share button so more folks are informed about the weather. If you're on Rumble, make sure you follow this page. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an upload. Because here at Winter Weather, we try to make weather forecasting fun and informative. And if you have any feedback for me, leave it in the comment section down below the video. I would greatly appreciate any feedback, because any feedback helps provide you, the viewer, more informative and better content in the future. So again, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I appreciate all y'all for watching. Never stop forecasting.